Hi everyone, welcome to our new video series. My name is Gustafsson and I'm thrilled to be reunited with fellow Magnus Carlsen's trainers, seconds, Peter Heine Nielsen, Magnus Carlsen's head coach, and Laurent Fressinet, Magnus Carlsen's French coach, are both here, and we will be going through the World Championship match 2021. Our experiences with it, the games, what we prepared, where we felt things went well, where we felt things didn't go well. Peter, we have different perspectives because we were in different locations.
Very much. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about it because you were in Thailand during all the match and I was in Dubai with Magnus and his non-chess team. So I see some kind of debriefing where we will discuss what was the mood in Dubai, what was happening in the technical department in Thailand, and we got to sort of basically compare notes and get the two kind of inside looks from the match.
Very much so. And Laurent, we are actually in your private home. Thanks for having us.
It's a big pleasure to welcome both of you, and I'm sure it will be interesting to talk to you guys about the match.
Likewise.
So we hope you guys enjoy the series with our behind the scenes insights. See you then.
Okay, so let's send a challenge.
Here is challenging. Nice graphics, easy to see. Oh, what are you thinking about? You're looking how it can be the most painful?
Exactly. Okay, fine.
That I give up a phone. He wants to be even rude.
This is John. John loves to study chess. This is David. David loves to study chess as well, but efficiently. John spends more time setting up the board and figuring out what's on the page of his book than he gets to study. David likes to take it easy and use his time wisely. David has finished his exercise for today. John should try the same.
When I saw her for the first time, it was love at first sight. I love how rich and complex she is, how sharp and principled her first steps, how graceful her movement. Paris is the city of love. I've come to find my love for the French defense.
I'm ahead of the game. Well, the phone is always ringing. I'm caught up on the line. Got a string around my finger. Remember who am I? I'm a boss and I'm honestly off my rocker, but follow me. I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game. I'm only ever slinging. I'm working overtime. Got a song and I'm the singer, the melody, the vibe. I'm a prodigy. Logically, I'm impossibly wanted. And they'll remember my name. They'll remember my name. Ooh, well, I'm ahead now. I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game. Ooh.
E5, it's E5 patzers.
A complete repertoire against 1 E4 based on 1 E5, now available to study with Chessable's unique Move Trainer technology. The backbone is the Marshall Gambit against the Spanish, with 3 Knight F6 against the Italian. Jan Gustafsson has revisited all these lines he has played for 20 years and worked on as a second for Peter Lecko and Magnus Carlsen, amongst others, with the help of the most powerful engines out there, Leela 0 and Stockfish 10. This has led to many new discoveries and a repertoire ready to master on Chessable that can serve the student for a long chess career.
Maybe E4 doesn't exist after all.
E5, it's E5 patzers. Hi everyone, welcome to our new video series. My name is Jan Gustafsson and I'm thrilled to be reunited with fellow Magnus Carlsen's trainers, seconds, Peter Nielsen, Magnus Carlsen's head coach, and Laurent Fressinet, Magnus Carlsen's French coach, are both here, and we will be going through the World Championship match 2021. Our experiences with it, the games, what we prepared, where we felt things went well, where we felt things didn't go well. Peter, we have different perspectives because we were in different locations.
Very much. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about it because you were in Thailand during all the match and I was in Dubai with Magnus and his non-chess team. So I see some kind of debriefing where we will discuss what was the mood in Dubai, what was happening in the technical department in Thailand, and we got to sort of basically compare notes and get the two kind of inside looks from the match.
Very much so. And Laurent, we are actually in your private home. Thanks for having us.
It's a big pleasure to welcome both of you, and I'm sure it will be interesting to talk to you guys about the match.
Likewise.
So we hope you guys enjoy the series with our behind the scenes insights. See you then.
Welcome to the new Chess24 playing experience. Play in light mode or dark mode. Choose from a range of time controls or create a custom game and get paired with players from around the world fast. Enjoy a polished playing experience while making moves on a fresh, responsive board to claim your victories. Train and improve with over 80,000 puzzles. And that's not all. Download now and discover what more you can enjoy in our brand new app.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'll try to. But we will see if they did that yet, because I'm assuming that probably will be there. I'm not talking to you. Yeah, I'll see. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's day of chess excitement. The tie breaks between Anish Giri and Dmitry Andreikin to determine our second finalist, the opponent of Richard Rapport in this second FIDE Grand Prix, are about to begin. I'm Jan Gustafsson, Peter Svidler. Who's going to win today and why?
Anish, because he is the higher rated player.
In Rapid as well? Did we check that?
I haven't, and I'm very possibly incorrect. Let's actually check, yeah. So in Rapid, Anish is rated 2744, and Andreikin is not in the top 24. And in Blitz, Anish is rated 2766, and Andreikin is 2736. So yeah, got it in one. Absolutely nailed that prediction.
Andreikin only 2661 in Rapid. That sounds low. His best was 2773 a while ago.
Mm.
In 2013. I would venture, I don't know to lend that sentence, but I would strongly feel he's underrated in Rapid. He's known to be a very strong Rapid player.
Yeah, that's I don't think Anish, checked that or would have believed that as part of his prep today. I think Andreikin is a very, very well respected player in shorter time controls. Anish knows he's in for a very tough fight today. But he's also, he's always been good, but I think he's also gotten better at it in recent times, Anish. And
did we already cover the everybody good at chess by talking about their games? We might no disrespect to either of them and their chess goodness part, or
we'll have plenty of time for that during the match, I guess, because I think from what I understand from our chat with Satiris, there is a 15-minute break between games, which another hot topic on which you brought me up yesterday. I said that no active chess player is a huge fan of long breaks between rapid games, and you told me that you can definitely find some if so required. I'm sure you can, but I still kind of stand by my assessment. I don't think it kind of breaks the flow, and you don't really there's really no more time to prepare, so you don't know what to do with yourself. You're just kind of pacing and really waiting for the next one to start. But anyway,
Peter is in the building, but what's also in the building is the Bishop's game. I'm not sure if Andreikin thought the Petrov was very likely to happen. He wants to stop that. It's usually why you play 2 bishops c4, so that after knight f6 you can play d3, have the bishop already out of the pawn chain, offering to transpose to some sort of Italian. But after knight c6 he says no Italian today. He goes knight c3,
or at least none of the classical Italians. This could still be some kind of a weird Italian, because I think they've started playing knight f3 in this position, or am I hallucinating?
After bishop b4, you mean?
Yeah. Because I think it used to be knight g2 specifically, I thought, but I have a feeling I started seeing knight f3 in this position. I don't know with which idea, to be honest. I think it doesn't really. None of this ever appealed to
castles.
Me. Yeah, with the idea of castling, that is very fair. Well, but yeah, it used to be knight g2, and that's what he does. Once again, I haven't really checked this properly, but d5, it always felt to me that there is no way this can be worse for black, but I guess you can find some minor ideas. What's the current state of this? Are you covering this? You're covering everything, so I'm sure you covered this as well, but what's the state of this line according to 1e4, 1e4, e4, e5?
I gave bishop c5 in this position because I'm lazy and because I wanted to make the big claim that after f4, d6, knight f3, ef4, black is completely fine, which I think is true. But bishop b4, knight e2, d5, ed, knight d5 castles, bishop e6.
I am not that big an expert. I think they take and go f4. Is it?
Yeah, this is what I think is happening here these days.
I didn't like it that much last time I checked, but that's a while ago.
Yeah, I still don't quite understand why this is supposed to be horrible for black. Like, I think we can just ignore it. Castle. Is white trying to play f5 or what's
yeah. That is what white is trying to do.
Yeah, but why is this so strong? I think the center is open enough that we don't really need to panic here. I just go f6 and...
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a big deal. I was just worried.
Yeah, takes knight g3. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But
yeah, and...
I'm sure computers aren't too concerned.
Yeah, and Chad is saying Anish has played this a lot, so...
Yeah, it's his line.
Yeah. Which also means that Andreikin probably expects exactly this as a reaction, so he must have some kind of an idea.
But Anish is also so deep in his openings, he usually doesn't care. If you're prepared, he will just claim. I know this line. Good luck. Prepare.
Yeah, absolutely. My point wasn't that Anish is worried about home prep. My point is that Andreikin should continue playing quicker, and Andreikin, legitimately can't really claim this is a surprise and start thinking here. Yeah, takes an
f4. This is what they do. f6 plate. That's probably clever, keeping open the option of castling queenside if white goes for this f5, bishop f7.
f5 is no longer really a move at all here, I would feel, because with king on c8, you're really not impressing anybody with your blockade. The question is, do you have anything smarter, which I'm not entirely sure. fe5 doesn't look threatening either. In general, just preparing bishop f7 is just such a nice little plan. Curious to see if they're still following some of Anish's games here.
I'd be shocked if not, unless f6 is an improvement he hasn't played before. I would guess nothing much has happened in that line.
Yeah, we're still following some games, but yeah, still Adiban versus Giri played in Tata Steel 79th Tata Steel, it says, which is 2017, quite a while back. Adiban went fe5, took on d5, played c3, and it was very, very comfortably equal for black. Yeah, very equal for blue. Yeah, black is not better, but also very, very assuredly not worse at all. So Anish quite happy with this. The curious part is, since it's still very much even still his practice, not just his pet line, but still his games. I'm wondering why this isn't happening faster.
fe5 plate.
Yeah, knight takes e5 seems more or less forced. Otherwise, f6 makes very little sense. Opening up the f file for white and creating issues. Knight takes plate.
Yeah, I guess you go d4 or you play c3.
Yeah, in some order. Yeah, you probably make all of those moves. The question is what you start with and so on. But yeah, you don't really want to leave black the bishop pair. That would be a very strange choice in this position. Yeah, wherever it goes, f7, c6, black kind of instantly looks slightly better if you leave this. If you let this bishop leave. Yeah. Is it too early? We're like 10 moves into game 1 of the rapid portion. Is it too early to start talking about the fact that Andreikin might want to play blitz today?
You think he's trying to make a draw? This is his way? I don't know. I think he's just...
It is a bit ridiculous, yeah. I'm not too serious.
He might have prepared for one of Anish's 15 openings, which he knows inside out, and probably... this wasn't one of them, so they play in equal position. Like, you can't out-prepare maybe the world's best theoretician on short notice in a rapid game. It's also not what Andreikin usually does, not to out-prepare people. He just goes for position and plays.
Obviously, it must have happened once or twice during his career, but not what he concentrates on.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Still seems like, not out preparing Anish, I understand. Actually, sort of not knowing what Anish played in a line you very consciously chose for this game is kind of my levels of not caring about the opening at all. I've done this myself more than once. Just like I would play a line, and then after the game, my opponent would ask me, "But like I played this 2 years ago, or like a year and a half ago, or a year ago. Didn't you check the database?" And I would just stand there and kind of chuckle. But yeah, whenever somebody else does it, I get a little bit surprised.
Yeah, you can make a tree of their games.
Mm.
Knight takes d5 plate, queen takes. Yeah, d4 should happen as well. But he does go knight f4. Chases the queen away.
Yeah.
I'm assuming d4 is still possible, but it's committing the knight somewhat early, no? Like,
yeah, still, it did feel like it's extremely likely that this is the best square. So why not do it now? But against Adiban, yeah, Anish put the queen on f7 there. I mean, queen.
Oh, they played this, yeah.
Well, c3
castles. So like, why play this move? Or I really don't get it.
No,
Adiban is still on castles.
Yeah, Adiban started with c3 first, bishop d6, knight f4, but
okay, then
they
at
all
least
kind
the
of flow.
d5 is blocked.
Yeah, they all kind of flow into each other because
I'm not sure they do. Because I mean, maybe if you go c3 here, the bishop still goes to d6. But
it probably still does because the default on castle still exists. Yeah. That's actually what happened in the game. So you don't actually stop that by forcing the bishop to d6.
Ah, fair enough.
And very interestingly, if we just put it on the board for a second, yeah, Anish played, here queen a4, and Anish played a7, a6 here, which is a very cute little tactic. D, we give a check first, I think, and then we go fe, and the knight can't actually avoid getting recaptured, which is I thought a very cute little puzzle for tactical awareness.
White holds, yeah? Like,
yeah, of course, yeah.
Barely, maybe, but...
Yeah. No, Adiban did not go g5. Adiban played queen b3 immediately, and yeah, everything got very, very equal very quickly.
Fair. All right, so knight f4 played. Does look, by time spent as well, that Andreikin did not prepare this position.
And Anish fine-tunes it by playing queen d7. Yeah. A question from David Bauman, why Andreikin would play such a drawish line against... I think that's what we're discussing with Jan. And first of all, I'm not sure if this is a drawish line. This is just a line. I mean, some anti-Berlins with rook e1 are drawish because everything comes off. This is just an equal position with like a couple of pieces traded. I don't think it kind of qualifies as a drawish line necessarily. And I think it's just...
qualifies a bad line. Looks to me like White is trying to equalize here.
Yeah.
But he's not doing this for some grand strategic theme. He's just playing moves. It's hard to get anywhere against Anish in the opening.
Yeah, that's exactly my opinion as well. Yeah, I did bring up the possibility that he perhaps prefers blitz to rapid today, but there are ways of kind of forcing the draw with White which aren't this.
Also, if you're looking for equality or a draw, you almost never play bishop c4 here because it's very specifically done against knight f3, knight f6 more often than not, which is not exactly in line you're trying to avoid if you want to equalize like this position.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Andreikin is too worried about, for example. So no, I think he's just playing, but yeah, he does not look impressive. Anish just repeats the line that is his main line, and Andreikin is out of book. So it's fair guess he did not prepare this, at least not for today.
Yeah. So maybe Dmitry didn't trouble himself too much to prepare and is playing to get a position, asks competitive diver. Yeah, kinda. It's just that he's also now down 6 minutes on the clock, and as Jan is correctly saying, I mean, he's not much worse, but if anybody is like better long term here, it is Black.
You gotta pay attention to the next couple moves, not to be
absolutely, yeah. Long castles.
If you get all this, it's fine.
G5, F5, and so on, yeah, and the slightly better bishop, if you compare the king on c8 to the king on g1, the king on c8 will be the safer king of the two. So yeah,
c3 plate.
Yeah,
same tactics still works here. Bishop d6, d4, long castle.
Yeah, we can still do that. We can still do it even here. Yeah, absolutely.
Not sure what the move is here, but there might be moves.
It can be 3 knight g6 or knight g4 or whatever. Yeah. It's the same position he got against Adiban, but he is not forced to trade queens here as black, so yes, it counts as an improvement if he is trying to get the game, even though, like, even here, like, I take on g6, I go bishop f4, white will not lose very many of these. Actually, g5? Maybe this position, maybe you do lose. Yeah, it's very annoying already. Yeah. No, has not been a triumph for Andreikin opening-wise, clearly. Yeah, g4 played, Anish will castle, and then Andreikin needs to find a way to diffuse it efficiently.
Long castles played. Also, fair chance Anish still knows what he's doing here. Yeah, like we've talked about his diligence in openings and so on. And yeah, he's certainly familiar with this tactic at the very least.
The suits have nothing to do with this, Diver. I'm just, you know, once beaten, twice shy. I have a memory. It's slightly better than the memory of a goldfish. Queen b3 played. I guess the idea might be knight g6, queen e6, just to try to get like as many pieces off the board as possible. And yeah, I mean, it should still be very, very close to equality. Like takes. You have to play a slightly awkward rook d7, and then I guess I just go knight f4 back and I continue offering trades. I'm a bit surprised by just how much the engine dislikes this for white. I thought it's equalizable, but the engine...
You have an engine. You and your engines.
Yeah. I will switch it off, but...
No, it's fine.
I had it on for a second, and yeah, it really, really dislikes this for white already. Like, for a position with no weaknesses and equal material, like half a pawn is, I think, a very large indication that things have not gone right.
Development is there. And after queen e6, he wants to take a rook d7, or what?
Probably, yeah. Knight e6 played.
E6.
I don't like this.
I shall not develop any pieces. I already have one in play. Let's send that on a mission.
Yeah, rook d8, d5, I guess, is the intention, but this is very strategically risky.
Also, that knight is not stable there, no? Like,
yeah, we go knight f8, I think. Yeah, we go knight f8 because knight d4, bishop c5 is very awkward for white. We still don't have bishop e3. Maybe queen c4 is playable. I don't know. Yeah, not a fan.
I get some pieces out.
Yeah, maybe even bishop e6, rook e5. Rook e5 is legitimately a threat to win the pawn on d5 next move. This is very risky for Dmitry here. Yeah. Yeah, if he loses this with white, he's just, yeah, that's going to be almost impossible to come back from, because...
Well, he could win the next one. Black.
Yeah, he could win the next one, yeah, but, yeah. Beating Anish with black on demand, even in a shorter time control game, is... Oh, it probably has been done in the history of chess, but not very often. Is there anything stronger than knight f8?
Knight f8 looks so obvious. This is a strong horsey. Let's challenge it.
Yeah.
If it gets exchanged after it moved 15 times, we're also happy.
Yeah. No, rook f8, knight f8, rook f8 legitimately looks kind of horrible for white. Bishop f4.
You gotta keep this, but this looks great, no?
Yeah.
Now we can come back with a knight, take this one whenever we need to.
Yeah. No. Yeah, knight f8 played. It was always the most natural move in the position. Knight d4 played. Yeah, bishop c5 also looks very, very natural here. Maybe bishop...
We'll go knight g6 once. See if he goes knight e6.
Yeah. You could, but...
No, bishop c5.
Why would you? Yeah. There's maybe an argument to play rook e5, actually. Kind of weirdly.
It is a bit weird, isn't it?
Because rook bishop f4, bishop c5 maybe wins the pawn.
It's fancy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, my biggest issue with this is that it's probably completely unnecessary, but it's cute and it might work, you know? Queen c4, bishop b6, yeah, I think it works. I can't see any refutation.
b5?
Yeah, I think eventually, yeah, I will play. I mean, there will be some counterplay, but not a lot of it, I think.
I don't think Anish will do that. I think he will just pin the horsey and be happy.
Yeah. I just, you know, I saw it and I thought it's a fine enough idea not to mention. But having said all that, I mean, he's on 11 minutes in a very comfortable position where he basically has a draw, because I think if he goes knight g6, knight e6 happens at the speed of light kind of thing. White is definitely not playing for a win here.
Black is better. No, the eye test is screaming Black is better. He should try to win this game.
No, my point is he's clearly better. He has more time. He knows if he doesn't find anything, he can always bail out by playing knight g6. So he might as well invest like 5 minutes here into trying to find something concrete. And that slightly improves the odds of him playing rook e5. But yeah, it's a kind of an unnatural decision, and maybe not even that strong, because maybe I can play c4 in response, bishop c5, bishop e3, and stabilize. If I don't lose immediately, which is also possible, but I don't see how. And yeah, rook e4 to control the f4 square. I also thought about that, but I thought inviting queen c2 was not that great, but maybe we provoke queen c2 and then we go rook e5, because that directly attacks the pawn on d5. Might actually make a ton of sense. Stops bishop f4, stops c3, c4, and if queen c2 is not a good move, then I'm very much on board with the idea of playing rook c4 here. Sorry, rook e4. I just thought it loses the tempo to queen c2. Yeah, he goes very interesting.
Knight g6, I know my boy. Knight e6 played. Anish, you gotta continue the game. Knight f8, good move. Knight d4, then make a move of a non-knight g6 description.
Yeah. David Bauman says, Lila says bishop c5 is the only great move. If he actually repeats here, I'm going to be surprised and somewhat disappointed. He must know he's, runs zero risks and can't.
Anish, you're always welcome in the CCC. You don't have to prove your worth to us by playing knight g6 here. Make a move. You're better. I'll draw some arrows. No, not this arrow.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a very good result for him, where he just kind of takes the black game off the board and has a kind of a free roll with the white pieces in 15 minutes time. But yeah, it would be a bit surprising if he actually went through with it. Also,
I very much know the feeling. I would guess so do you. If you make a draw, which is a good result on paper, but deep down inside that you left something on the table, and it can sort of unbalance you.
Absolutely, yeah.
For the next game, and he does play knight g6. Wow, Anish.
Oh, that actually just is a draw, because I can claim here, right, as well.
There he goes.
Yeah, honestly, a bit surprising, because I think, and people have already started on...
Comfy boy. Knight d4. Queen g4, minus 150.
Queen g4 not bad, bishop c5 also not bad.
Okay, now it's a threefold repetition. Although if no one claims...
No, I think
he will be wise enough to claim it here.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do this any longer, yeah. Clearly, absolutely no point in tempting fate there.
Yeah, no, that wasn't ideal. I very much understand the instinct. And you tell yourself the story, a quick draw with black is fine and so on. But you always feel deep down inside that this wasn't right. And I think Andrekin will be quite happy that he dodged a bullet here, because he will also have felt things haven't gone according to plan. And here, if we look at the computer line, queen g4, it's already real big trouble.
Yeah, it just looks horrible. And yeah, Iskain says, Peter repeated from completely winning position against Hikaru in the Speed Championships a few months back. Yeah, but that was slightly shorter time control, and I vaguely remember the game, but I did not feel sort of in control, and the position did not seem as safe as this one does. And yes, of course, I mean the example Iskain chose is just the wrong one. I've done exactly what we've just watched on the screen. from completely safe positions many a time. It's just not like using a blitz game as an example is a poor example. I very much know the feeling, and what Jan said is just entirely true. It's not just that you left some EV on the table, it's also that you know you've left some EV on the table, which makes you play slightly worse in the next game. Because
no, I've done this many a time, but you can't really shake that feeling, and in my case, the self-loathing for perfectly understanding what you just did, but in the moment, you tell yourself, yeah, quick draw with black, I'm white the next game.
Yeah.
This slightly increased my chances, or in a tournament game, you tell yourself, whatever. This gains me 2 rating points, or I make a quick draw with black against an equal opponent. Whatever. You can always make up something if your mind works that way, but you know deep down inside that wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
The right thing to do, and sometimes it can make you play worse.
Anyway, go on. Yeah, let's. Since we apparently are going to have a reasonably long break here, we need to get off the.
That was this. This is also much better. For black.
Also much better for black. Yeah, it's just
minus 150 according to Stocky.
Yeah, 45 minutes. I don't think it's going to be 45 minutes. I'm pretty sure.
Break, no?
Yeah, I don't think they're keeping to an actual like set schedule of 1 game at 5, 1 game at 6, and so on, like my time, or 3, 4 European.
Yeah, just checking this. No, it's just also the eye test very much agrees that black is better here. Let's see. King H1 takes.
No, that is just kind of.
Book D8 apparently picks up the pawn, but also just bad, quote unquote normal made.
It's just this is horrible. You can't allow bishop takes d4, so you kind of need to play queen c4. Black goes bishop b6, and yeah, the d5 is just terminally weak here, and yeah, you can play.
This is still coming.
Rook e4 and create the same threat, and you're just not getting mated. Yeah. Yeah, stopping bishop f4 here is important, but yeah, you kind of know you're not getting mated here. Why? It doesn't have any attackers. Everything is on the starting positions, so yeah. Honestly, when they got to knight f8, knight d4, I would have given very, very low odds of this happening. I am surprised. So we have one more game of 15 plus 10, and then we will have, if it's a draw. Yeah, I was kind of getting slightly ahead of myself there. There will be one more rapid game, and then if it's a draw, 2 games of 3 plus 2, and then immediately after that an Armageddon. And yeah, 15 minutes to go between games. And also, I assume Anish, being a consummate professional that he is, he probably brought a second. And normally between games, you can actually kind of exit the closed off area where you play and where normally nobody is allowed in, and you can go talk to your helpers who might like have some opening ideas or something. And I wonder like what that conversation sounds like after this game.
Who's he with? Do we know?
I have no idea, but I would just assume that he is not alone there. Erwin, maybe?
Could be Mr. Lamy. I don't know. Even if there's no one there, he probably does have contacts in his phone, which he can probably get a hold of in 15 minutes. That can send.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, as long as you can sort of leave the area and get, reconnected with your devices, you can absolutely ask for pointers. But I'm guessing the final position of this game, is a subject that will be carefully danced around and not really discussed very heavily, because
yeah, as a second, you sort of know in the moment. It's not your job to tell the boss, I was plus 150. Why didn't you play on? That is not exactly the job description.
Yeah, even just asking what didn't you like about the final position, even without mentioning how good it is, probably
saying enough. If you know.
I think that already comes under the header of never do that, never do that, never do that to be a horse.
Question is, if you're being asked, do you lie? If you're being asked,
Yeah.
like how was the final position? You say, yeah, about equal. You could go bishop c5, but queen c4 is nothing special. Or do you say 150, idiot? Probably the idiot is not good either.
Yeah, very much. Like there's definitely two schools of seconding on this point, and yeah, there are some famous seconds of the past, which are probably of the. It's
both approaches have been done, and
yeah,
strongly felt about it.
Yeah. I keep on returning. Like these days, I don't know. Like you probably remember the name, right? The name is Againov. You probably still remember vaguely who that is.
Name rings a bell, but no. Who is that?
There was a guy who worked, with sportsmen of various sports. I think at some point he even worked with possibly Steffi Graf, maybe even. He definitely worked with some tennis players, some high-profile ones as well. And he also worked with Karpov. For chess,
yeah. I think I know it because you talked about him earlier.
Yeah, he is famous for having worked with Karpov during the, I think, early 90s. And the reason he became such a cult figure is that he worked with Anatoly for a bit, and then he wrote a book about working. And he also, I think, worked with maybe Nana Alexandria for a world championship, women's world championship match, which was also lost. And Karpov also, I think, lost the important event that he played with Zagainov there as part of his team. That was the match that he lost to Nigel, I think, in Linares, right? The one he lost 6-4 by losing the last round. That was against Nigel, right? And the other one was Yusupov.
He is at like 91. I always get these years wrong.
Yeah, I think that was like 91 and 92, something like that. And the point was that he wrote a book specifically called Defeat, I think. In which, to everybody's slight surprise, his sort of how do you pronounce that word in English? Graphomany. He just wanted to be a writer so much that he basically just poured everything onto the page. And the end result is an incredibly honest description of him being absolutely horrendously horrible at his job. At least in my opinion, and in many other people's opinion as well, because it features absolutely unbelievable anecdotes of him asking Karpov deeply, deeply personal questions, bringing up childhood trauma 5 minutes before the decisive game of the match, and it's just unbelievable stuff. And
that's why Magnus keeps the seconds at least 3 time zones away during matches.
It's the book is people at some point. I remember people traveled with that book. I think Mark Dvoretsky at some point just legitimately traveled with that book with commentary in the margins. He enjoyed it so much, because he was also in, I think, Linares helping.
Dvoretsky was also on the other side in this women's world championship match.
Yeah, it's tremendous stuff. Absolutely,
sounds like an excellent book.
Yeah. What's
the saying? Federer's coach also plays chess, very much so. Ivan Lubicic, he was on Team Yanistan, where Team Yanistan, led by Peter Svidler.
Okay, it exists in Russian, but I will try to see if it's ever been translated. Nope. No, it exists in Russian. In Russian, it's called the Russian word for defeat. So if you speak Russian, you're in luck. If you don't speak Russian, I don't think it actually has been published in any other language, as far as my sort of very quick Google suggests.
I do not speak Russian.
Yeah.
I was going to say, shout out to Federer's coach, who joined our prestigious team when we lost to Team Nielsen Niemann. But I think he has not yet written a book about his very personal questions that he asks Federer before matches.
Yeah. And there were also some fantastic stories specifically from that match in Linares, which I think Nigel told me when we were sort of we had a period where we worked together on one chess in the late 90s, and he told me lots of stories. There were stories about Zagainov sitting in the playing hall every game, like sitting very prominently in one of the front rows and writing something in his notebook. And apparently, and the entire Team Nigel thought he was writing some profound observations about Nigel's behavior over the board or whatever, some pointers that could be used to perhaps more accurately gauge what he thinks about positions and stuff. And then apparently a piece of paper fell out of the notebook and was picked up, and it was apparently Zagainov practicing pickup lines in foreign languages.
It's better than I expected. Super bad situation.
Potentially apocryphal, but yeah, that's what I was told.
So, any good ones?
Not particularly. They were very vanilla. Just general hello, like you.
Hello, I like you.
Yes, I mean, very sound approach. Yeah, that's as far as these things go. I can't really say it's all that wrong.
Chad, do you have any good pickup lines? Asking for a friend. Me like you?
SMORC is very important there. Without SMORC, it doesn't work. As is with many things in life. Yeah, you absolutely need to include SMORC.
What do you like for breakfast? Wow, aggressive.
Yeah.
We need to ask Dubov that. No. Does Dubov have good pickup lines? Probably. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Jake, family show. Dubov is the master of flirting. I've never seen him in action. I think I know what you're referring to. Okay. So, draw in the first game. Anish maybe left some equity on the table there, which means he will be white in game number 2. If he wins the next game, Anish Giri advances to the finals. If he loses, Andreikin advances to the finals. If they draw, they get to play more chess.
And while we wait, perhaps you have some exciting news to share with us.
I do not.
That is regrettable.
Oh, the video series out? Is that the exciting news?
Yes.
The video series, Laurent Fressinet, Peter Heine, and I did in Paris a couple of weeks ago. It's now being published. It is everything that we know about the World Championship match 2021, about the preparations, the training camps, the openings that we debated, what happened in the training camps, and then, of course, what we experienced going game by game in the match. We had fun. We tried a new way of recording it by making it more casual with the three of us sitting around a chessboard, having a producer, believe it or not, with multiple cameras there. And yeah, we had a good time. Hope you like it. I think it's being published. Two videos or something every 2-3 days. Check it out on chess24.com. I enjoyed it greatly. It was also very interesting because Peter Heine was in Dubai and Laurent and I were in Thailand, so we hadn't very much talked about Peter Heine's feelings and day-to-day, because obviously during a match you're pretty busy exchanging lines and making sure everything goes according to plan. So yeah, check it out.
Yep, and there's a link in chat for those of you.
I think it's now, on this, whatever it's called, the collection page, new chess24.com collection, and will also appear as a regular video series once it's all published. But yeah, the first two should be out. Maybe we should send the English link indeed.
Liftoff. And Andrei
Liftoff.
Anish opens with 1e4, which is obviously, something he's very capable of doing, but maybe a slight surprise, because I still somehow feel that he's more at home in the 1d4 waters. But yeah, and Andreikin goes for the Paulsen that I still very firmly associate specifically with the name of Sergei Rublevsky, even though other people have played it quite a bit, and I myself played it at some point very, very regularly with the black pieces. It's very risky. Against well-prepared opponents, this line is, borderline unplayable is unfair, but you do have to be extremely precise, or you run the risk of not really getting out of the opening. Queen of 3 is definitely one of the sort of logical ways of playing, but there's also a number of positions here. Like Rook e1 more or less forces you to choose between a position with the king on f8 and a position in which you might have to give up your entire king side. Because the best play here is supposedly bishop e7, to which you can and should probably play e5, queen g4. And now the two moves black chooses from are king f8, which is, fine-ish, it's playable, but it's just an indication of how risky it is. Or you can play g6, and then the line goes bishop h6, rook b8. You can play like queen h3 here, rook b4, bishop g7, and in this position there's a choice between rook h4, which is not great. Or you can go rook g8. I think I'm not wrong. Like rook g8 here, queen h7, we take on g7. Queen takes g7, bishop f8, and then queen g5. This used to be theory. It might still be theory. It definitely used to be like popular, trendy theory some time ago. Strong players have debated all of this. But yeah, the line very often.
Any other theory in this position, like bishop f4?
There's plenty. b3, bishop b2 is actually quite strong, and also poses a lot of questions. Queen f3, as I mentioned, is.
Queen f3 was played.
Yeah.
Bishop b7 on the board. I was a bit surprised recently. Some people did not take here. Jawa thought this was the line everybody plays, and the reason why most people prefer starting with queen c7 also. Computers like it, but I've noticed some bona fide theory experts recently playing here bishop e2. Did we have a queen d3?
Yeah, bishop f4 exists and is not stupid at all as well.
Bishop f4 very much exists, yeah.
Yeah, but Anisha is going for what is absolutely supposed to be the main line. And yeah, the reason I went on this rant about one specific line, which is completely non-forced, is just to illustrate that, the black's position looks like it's solid, no weaknesses, very kind of a fluid pawn structure. But while you try to develop normally, white very often just forces you into very, very uncomfortable shapes by directly attacking your king side.
One plate.
Yeah.
This looks familiar, a castle. Bishop h6, knight e8, and you're not getting checkmated yet. But you might also be.
Yeah, you're also not very happy, yeah. It just doesn't equalize. Yeah, it very much sort of fell off the... it fell out of fashion at some point. Because it briefly became a topical serious line that more people started playing at a reasonably high level, and that prompted strong players on the white side to actually take a closer look at what the move orders are and which are good and which aren't, and that immediately caused people to stop playing it with black because it really isn't very enjoyable.
What do they play in the classical game?
And
I was b3, yeah, no, 3,
yeah,
e6,
b3, yeah.
So Andreikin teased this line, but Anish.
Yeah. Apparently they're still repeating the game Gandelius Andreikin, in which instead of rook e1, Niels played bishop f4, which is also a logical move. But as Jan showed, the bishop can always be, well, not always, but often there will be a chance to play queen g3, bishop h6, so bishop f4 arguably might be a loss of tempo. And also, I think one thing that definitely scared me a little bit away from the line is sort of new developments in the 7e5 move, which used to be considered to be absolutely nothing because people play queen c7, and the old theory says f4, d5 takes, and this is not horrible. And it is, in fact, really not horrible at all for black. But then people started playing queen c7, queen e2, or even bishop f4, and just giving up the bishop, like rook b8. White just ignores it, goes like bishop d3 long short castles, and then very much aims to overwhelm black due to like huge disparity in development. And these lines are quite scary if you start looking at them seriously with machines. So yeah.
No bigger theoretician than you, like giving a whole speech on this position here. I'm impressed. You played this in the old days, no? Like
yeah, I played like late 90s, early 2000s. I played this very, very seriously. I had some interesting games on the black side of this.
Drakin has played bishop e7. Anish will still be in book here.
Yeah, in particular, if this is still following Andreikin's own games, yeah, it's very unlikely that Anish repeats what Andreikin did in game 1 and doesn't actually study his opponent's recent practice. That's not his way. Yeah, I mean the position remains playable, but it's just not very fun for black. If knight h5, I guess we go
here.
Queen h3, I guess, right? Or queen g4 and bishop h6. Yeah.
H3 looks very logical, no?
Yeah.
Then after knight f6,
yeah, we
can no castles, so we do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I recall having seen some g6 in position like this, but it also looks terribly risky. Bishop h6, maybe bishop g5. I don't know.
Yeah. This is why I was wondering if knight h5 is playable. Also, queen g4 is not stupid. Just provoke g6 in the same fashion, but maybe it's useful for white to have control over the g5 square. Like if we go knight h5, queen g4, g6, bishop h6, we get the same position, but with no bishop g5 available. Yeah, not gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm actually a little bit surprised that Andreikin doesn't change up from the Sicilian he chose in the classical. I think presenting a target to somebody like Anish, like saying this is my repertoire and this is what I'm likely to play, and then not deviating, is maybe not the best. But as you keep on reminding the viewers, it's very difficult to play something Anish knows nothing about. So maybe it's still the best choice. Yeah, if this is his current repertoire, if this is what he's looked at most recently, no real reason to panic and deviate.
Doesn't look like he's spent much time looking at queen f3. I'm wondering what could have surprised him, because it seems like Anish is making the first moves, no? Queen f3, rook e1, queen g3. But yeah, it's also unfair. We do know that Anish is the better theoretician and that Andreikin is a great practical player with excellent nerves. But of course, facing the better theoretician might lead to some shady positions here in the opening. He's played h5.
Whoa. This looks like it might lose. Sort of by force. Like, what is this? Is he planning to go e5, knight g4? With bishop h4 ideas or what?
Guess so.
Because, I mean, h4 exists, but I couldn't really make it work at all after queen g7, queen h6. It looked horrible, so I guess it's this, yeah? Very, very weird.
I don't know. Do we need to play e5?
No, I didn't realize how playable knight g4 was. I thought I was just kind of winning with e5, but yeah. Queen g7, yeah, well, I guess it's rook g8, but okay, well, let's go queen h6. And why is this so great for black?
My best guess is it's not so great for black.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Quite a remarkable punt. There is also, I mean, it feels kind of suboptimal not to try to punish it straight away. But if we play h3 here, and we say, thank you for terminally weakening your king side so that you can never castle.
Yeah, the one good thing this has from Andrekin's perspective is it will get Anish out of book, while short castles wouldn't have. But he's paying a price, the usual.
Yep.
Now we start Anish better with a choice. Could blitz on h3, but he's also, I think here he will try to look for punishment as well and think about this.
He has enough time to...
5, or, I don't know, bishop g5, is that a move?
Yeah, bishop g5. I guess he wants to play... h4, bishop takes h4 still works, yeah, I don't know. Bishop g5 definitely is a move, yeah. Maybe d takes e4, but we can take with the bishop, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a weird, slightly minor capture, which I always miss in my own games, but it looks very strong. Just to be able to protect the bishop on g5 if black takes. Yeah, bishop g5 also extremely logical.
Anish taking a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could be the drawback if you have like 3 or 4 tempting moves. Some people would not care and just blitz out one of them after a minute and say, okay, let's continue. But I think Anish might also be a bit of a perfectionist here. But no, he's quite practical. He plays h3 without thinking too long.
Yeah, it looks like a very logical move because h4 queen takes g7 is obviously an improvement on the immediate queen takes g7 because we take away some squares from the black pieces. Like after rook g8, queen h6, there's no...
Here, queen g5, there's no way you can...
We always have queen g8 checks, so yeah, no captures on e4 ever work. Yeah, I'm really not sure how you're supposed to follow this up. Maybe you play king f8 now. The way to justify it without tactics is to say, in the positions where black goes king f8, the pawn actually does often go to h5, so that you can, in an ideal world, perhaps late, yeah, as we watch him go king f8 here, because you do want to eventually be able to play g6, king g7, without having to worry about bishop h6 check. So yeah, there is some justification for what we've done to our position, but yeah, obviously this is not great. The question is just, you know, how much of a non-great this is. And I wanted to say that, like, if Anish had a kind of a reasonable expectation of this being his white game, it makes the decision to repeat in game 1 slightly more understandable. Like, if he thought he was getting some kind of position like this, taking...
So you think when he repeated moves in the first game in a position where he's up 150, that he already knew he would get an up 150 position out of the white game?
Absolutely. That's what, you know, psychic powers are for.
King of 8, he goes bishop f4. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And also, is his equity better here than in this black game? The position
I really don't know.
To play?
I really don't know. No, I was, you know, it was mainly in jest what I'm saying, of course, but like it is a bit sort of, we're watching him be completely unfazed by the events of game 1.
Yeah, but we do know he's a better theoretician, so I think the real battle we are still about to witness if Andrekin can avoid collapse here for a moment.
Yeah, the little prince says we're getting rook g8 and g5. I hope so. No, I don't think that's... I think he probably goes knight h5 here and tries to maybe get the dark square bishops off the board somehow. Like knight h5 followed by g5 is one plan.
How bad is this? Do you go somewhere? Like, or e5? Knight
e5 is actually quite interesting here, right? But knight e2 c5 or...
Let's say this maybe is not...
The knight on e2 is a bit, yeah, the construction feels meh.
Not this.
Knight a4 and then maybe b3, knight b2, knight c4 is a very usual way of getting our ducks in a row.
Yeah, could still be unpleasant.
Yeah, But also d4, e5, as you've mentioned, it might be just very, very strong. 95, 94 looks bad, and this looks like this looks lost. Bishop f6, bc, and then rook b1. I mean, I kind of ignored the fact that I'm losing an exchange here, but it might still be lost. Rook b1, bishop b1, rook b7. The f7 pawn is kind of weak. I wouldn't be surprised if black actually was getting mated here.
Scary.
Queen f6 maybe, but yeah. Looks very, very scary. Might be survivable though. Yeah, Queen f6 is an important move which I missed originally.
Draken going king g8.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anything.
The walk of shame. Not really, no.
81.
Yeah, just a very comfortable position for white, but as is often the issue, I think, in this line for the player playing the white pieces is how exactly are you breaking in? You're clearly much better, but the black position doesn't really offer very many targets apart from the horrible king on g8, which you still need to kind of open up somehow because you're not getting there with the fast.
What's he planning? Is he planning to just go back and say, "Please break my position, sir"?
Maybe bishop d6, because I think black kind of likes the idea of provoking e5, even if it costs you 2 tempi. It makes your center a lot safer. It makes you have plans like g6, knight g7, knight f5 becomes a plan. c5 actually revives the bishop a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if this. I should play bishop d6.
Yeah, so that's what I expected. Yeah, the old horrible instincts from playing this line for like 5 years straight are kicking in here. You just waste 2 tempi provoking e4, e5, which is not a bad move at all.
But yeah, I'm not sure if we go e5 here. Knight a4, c4,
Knight a4,
does
c4
look pretty bad. No?
Yeah.
Knight f4 is a nice square, but can't even go there yet.
Yeah.
This looks good.
Yeah. I mean, we go like g6, king g7, and we chill, you know, for a very, very strange value of chill, because we're much, much worse. Like even e5, c5 here is very, very strong. Just close everything down, and then eventually something will, you know, h4 pawn will be perennially weak and so on. e5, it's e5 Patzers, exclamation mark, says, can...
Yeah. 1 e5, good move. You don't get this type of position.
Absolutely.
As Ani showed us last game.
Yeah.
Still, I do expect something to happen still in this game. I don't think Anish will just pick up the point and we go home.
No, this will be a game. Yeah, this.
Yeah.
This will be a game.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Is e5 a move? Yeah, e5 definitely is a move. But as I mentioned, like this actually makes it's probably is a decent move. But yeah, you first of all, if you want to play e5, you probably take the bishops off because leaving yourself with this idiot on h2 is not great. And secondly, by playing e5, you very much kind of simplify the maybe not the life, but the decision making does become simpler for black because you want to play c5, g6, either king g7 or knight g7, f5. And if you get all of those things, like it suddenly starts resembling, you know, a million games by Wroblewski, which we got to via a very strange route, but we did get there. Yeah, takes, and now the big decision if he wants to close things down or if he wants to go like knight a4, c4 does look.
This is also completely standard. I mean, keeping the tension. Like
absolutely, yeah. It's
will be a tough decision for him. Because c5 gets a lot tougher to even think about with.
Yeah,
also on e4, like
not with the king on g8. Yeah,
just collapses somehow.
This has to be just lost. Yeah, I expect this to die in like 3 moves flat. Yeah, Rublevsky is definitely, specifically for this particular Taimanov, Rublevsky was, so the reason I picked up the line with black was there was a weird period, I think I definitely did tell this story at some point, but like the story of me playing Rublevsky was I played my first game with him with white when I was like 9 and he was 10. And then for like 10 years straight, all of my game against him were with black.
Anish does play e5. Queen b4 played.
Yeah, and then suddenly it changed, and as these things work often, I can actually go a3 here, which might be important. Queen b2, rook b1 wins material because bishop h7 check. And then those things turned around, and my next game again, the next like 10 games against him were all with white, which forced me to look at all of his Sicilians. And I kept on looking at all of his Sicilians and absolutely failing to refute them. And eventually that led me to a conclusion that maybe I should start playing them with black if I dislike them so much from the white side. This is looking kind of playable-ish for Andreikin now. No,
I'm very surprised he committed to e5. As mentioned, he wants to control the f4 square. But if you go here, this you still have. Maybe he didn't want to think about anything like that. But it's, I don't know, feels strange. Even if we go somewhere, you're not exactly getting mated.
Yeah.
Still, white should be better, but yeah, as debated, why release the tension?
c5,
c2. He hasn't played c5 yet.
Yeah, we just go c3 and then queen g4, and yeah, I mean, structurally this is now kind of acceptable for black, but apart from structurally, there's also the point that there's a king on g8 and a knight on h5, which currently has no squares, and if things get opened up in any way at all, black probably just collapses and loses. g6, yeah, g6 is I guess he feels that c5 is probably something that cannot be taken away from him, but keeping the option of returning to e7 with the queen might be important. In case of queen g4, for instance, if it happens later in the game. Yeah, c3. I'm expecting queen e7 here. I think this is why he postponed c5 for a move.
So he just wants queen e7, king g7, c5,
and then c5.
But surely,
yeah, you can sort of see how the position is kind of improving a bit.
Yeah, I didn't like any of the moves Anish played here. There's e5, knight e2, c3. Feels like he's not fighting for the dark squares on the queen side. He's probably still better, but
yeah, he might have to actually maybe. It sounds very weird considering how stupid that knight looks on h5.
No.
But you might have to trade it to knight f4.
Sure.
And then you do actually get the position that Rublevsky has been defending for like 25 years. There's just so many of those where like white goes rook e3, rook f3, and black has one rook on f8 and the other rook on h5, or h8 if you didn't get to play h5, h4. And it looks scary, but in fact you aren't actually getting mated if you play very, very precisely somehow. Some kind of a setup like this, yeah. So many Rublevsky games.
How many?
I would say like a couple of dozen. And I don't mean in the entire line. The entire line, it's more. Like specifically those.
The structure with pawn on h4, pawn on g6.
Maybe h5 and g6. Yeah, he normally. I don't think normally he gets to play h5, h4. I think he gets blocked on h5, and white has a pawn on h4 themselves. And then there's a lot of pressure against the black king side, and there's still no mate, shockingly. But yeah, not fun to defend.
Can someone check the database? There's a couple dozen Rublevsky games. Pawns on h5, g6 here. Problem is, Peter will argue that not all of them made the database, because a lot of them were the Russian under 7 tournament in the year 1982, and they never got published.
Yeah. Hang on. We'll actually check. So what we want here is a search for Rublevsky on the black side of a b46. And then we want pawns on g6 and h5.
This question, if I played this, yeah, I played a lot of, I think you still call this the Taimanov in English, Queen C7 here in my youth, mainly because I was afraid of A6, Knight C6. And the argument was, this is a much better version because you haven't played A6 and you can go D5, Knight F6. But even these positions weren't as easy as you thought, because usually when someone played Knight C6 here, you thought, okay, what an idiot, I haven't played A6. But even those aren't that bad. But obviously after Queen 7, there are other moves.
Yeah, Anish is actually doing something quite interesting, quite sensible, I think, by playing b4, a5, a3, because he wants to provoke c5 in such a way that the b file gets opened and there's a nice square on d4 for the knight. Black is not obliged to comply, though. I think bishop a6 is a reasonable move here to begin with. Maybe throw in king g7, but I quite like playing bishop a6 as early as possible just to perhaps get those bishops off the board, because then your kingside becomes much safer. And if you play bishop c2 here, I think I'm snapping on e2. Yeah, knight d4.
Yeah, no, I'm keeping the knight.
Yeah, knight d4 we take. Yeah, knight d4 is annoying because I have to spend tempo on protecting the c6 pawn.
I know, still feels like there could be some pressure, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Feels like I'm a couple of tempi away from being... Like, if I could play king g7, rook h c8 in that position, I probably feel like I'm close to fine, although could still get mated on the king side. He does go bishop a6, though, so we are likely to see something along those lines. And yeah, I absolutely also agree with you. You keep the knight here, not the bishop. The bishop is going to be very restricted by the black structure. So yeah, allowing bishop takes e2 here would be a very, very strange choice.
Anish will play knight d4.
Yeah. Not happening. Yeah, pretty sure it's just not happening. Yeah, knight d4 played. Yeah, takes. We take the rook, of course, because
I guess to keep an eye on this.
Yeah, and also like we got a free rook lift out of this, which is like queen g4, rook f3 might become a useful plan.
But he does take with a queen.
This I don't quite understand.
Anish doesn't even rook lift.
Yeah, this is surprising to me.
You surprised Peter, Anish.
Yeah.
So you're trying to buy time. We're still waiting for the couple dozen Wroblewski games.
Yeah, I made a mistake of clicking on yes when it asked me if I want a search booster for the mega database. It'll take a bit. Never create a search booster for the mega database when you're live on air and you want answers quickly. But I am at 45% for creating the search boosters. I'm not ducking out. I am still going to give you the answer, just not as quickly as I could have.
Chess Misinformation is claiming Wroblewski Sicilians with g6, h5, 31 games. That would be a couple dozen. But he's also called Chess Misinformation, so I'm not sure we can trust him.
Yeah. No, but that's also all Sicilians, and I'm doing a search for specifically the b46, which is a much narrower parameters. Yeah, queen b7, rook b1 is... If this is the best black had on the previous move, queen takes d3 begins looking more logical. Yeah,
queen b7 looks a bit odd, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if I really dislike c5 or not. I think the plan was to maybe go knight c6 and b5. Maybe this is why he didn't like it. And then b5. And then either a4 or c4, depending on what you do. And it kind of sticks there.
C4 or a4.
Yeah, it sticks there and it's very annoying. So I can see why Andreikin chose not to allow it, but yeah, queen b7, rook b1 is also very awkward.
And also Anish will be much happier now because this position suits him more than the earlier, maybe even better positions, but more murky. Now it's fairly clear-cut position where he can make natural moves, doesn't risk capital pressure. Queen a6 played, he will keep queens, I guess.
I mean, b5 is actually a legitimate choice here, just because you're. I suspect you actually win the b file, right? Because you force cb, you take with the rook, you go rook eb1 next move, and if you assume full control over the b file, you're very, very close to.
Why is that so amazing? You go
king g7 and then rook b8 is what I'm worried about. Yeah, like rook eb1, some rook b8. I don't know which one. I'm guessing a. And I was trying to make some kind of
6 trickery.
Yeah, no. I was trying to make that work, but the king runs away. It actually comes close to working. Like rook b8, queen d3, rook 1 b7 is almost there. This doesn't, but yeah, rook takes b8 was.
Takes b8.
But yeah, the king has the b5, the g5 square here. and we lose, so it's not great.
So 15 Wróblewski games with this king maneuver.
Yeah, b5 played in the meantime, so yeah.
Go.
We can go queen b1, I guess, after king g7 if we want to make sure that we win the b file. Bit of an awkward move, but we can play it. Or we can go rook b1, rook b8, and then, I don't know, queen f3 or a4 or something.
This looks like something Anish would do.
Yeah, and just claim that we're better. I guess we are really kind of better, because h4 is still quite weak. Like, eventually queen f3, queen g4 will become a very serious threat. Knight f4.
Maybe we don't even need rook eb1 for this.
Yeah.
Why put the rook there?
Just go queen f3, yeah. Rook b8, rook b8, rook
or
b8.
a4 first.
A4, yeah. Surge booster at 92%. To confirm or deny the chess misinformation information. Knight g7 looked like a blunder there for a second, but rook b8, king h7 still exists.
Knight g7 is a weird move, though. It's where the king goes.
Yeah, he probably really disliked king g7 for some reason. He wants to trade the knights on f5, but yeah, this looks very...
h4 pawn is always weak. No, king h7, there's checks here.
Well, he goes knight f5. I'm pretty sure he just goes knight f5. But the issue is after takes, and like queen d2, you might just get mated anyway, despite...
gf.
Well, I mean, ef loses a central pawn, so... Like,
understood.
Yeah, this also looks kind of lost, yeah. Queen c8 only moves, says the liquidator. So my surge gave me 7 games, which is less than 2 dozen.
It's no games, though.
Yeah, but they are specifically exactly the kinds of games that I... well, not exactly, but very close, yeah.
So they're not exactly the kind of games where you claimed you had a couple dozen games, but they're close.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are...
Get me milking this.
Yeah.
Queen c8 played. Anyway, Wróblewski played the structure.
Yes.
A lot.
A lot, yes. Like the first 3 are exactly the games I was referring to, but then it...
3. 3 is the actual number.
No. 4, 5. That one doesn't count. Yeah, I'm at 5 currently.
5.
Yes.
Queen c8.
Yep. Still horrible trouble for black, it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we could play...
So how's it getting better?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, this is the big...
Here, what do you want?
Rook h5 to knight f5, I suppose.
Rook h5, that's a constructive move.
Yeah, rook h5, knight f5, and then we obviously take with the rook if the knights to get traded, and if they don't get traded, we at least drive it away from the d4 square, and we slightly improve our...
So rook h5, even if I go here...
Yeah, looks horrible.
I mean, it feels like you're waiting for something really bad to happen.
Absolutely, yeah, no disagreement. But I still feel like this is the best plan we have, because nothing else really even feels like a plan. Just feels lost. Rook b6 is...
Also looks good, creeping in.
Yeah, just improving slowly. Does rook h5 lose to something here, or can we still play it? Because I really don't see any other choices. I guess knight f5 improved a little bit with the inclusion of queen d8 in the list of options after the trade, but it looks lost anyway. Yeah, rook h5, I mean, rook c6 we go queen, maybe even d7. Knight c6 we have knight f5, I suppose, yeah. Oh no, rook b8. So we can go king h7 or c7 or something, yeah.
Still no fun.
Oh, you know, fun is not going to be had.
No fun to be had.
No fun to be had for a while yet, for sure. People are saying Anish advantage is evaporating. I don't know. It still looks horrible, and he also has 5 against 2. Look, queen c5. Really
no fun to be had is also what I said about Game of Thrones season 1 finale. Queen c5, can you do that?
Knight e6 is winning? Question mark? Maybe not. f3, queen g6, rook f8, maybe, or queen f8, or...
Anish is not gonna
Yeah.
engage. If it's not directly winning, why?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if it is winning, he might, but it doesn't look like it's winning as directly as he would like. Yeah. Queen f3 played. Now rook b8 check is a threat, I guess. Winning the f7 pawn in the end. Also, queen f6 looks like a very, very strong fall. Like queen a3, I suspect he wants to play queen f6, maybe. Because otherwise, yeah, rook f8. Rook f8 is clearly paying, a lot of respect to the threat of rook b8 check. But I was wondering if you can actually afford to take on a3, because black very much wants to pick up something to have, some compensation for all the suffering that's going to be had here. And I don't immediately see how it loses.
Check, you go king h7 or you take?
I wanted to take and go king h7. I want all the rooks off the board. I understand the endgame after queen takes f7 is still going to look scary, but I have some perpetual chances. Like I can even go queen takes c3, and this looks like I will save this game, right, with black.
Yeah, it looks like. White left.
So yeah, my question was if it doesn't lose, I would very much like to pick up a pawn on a3, because it actually gives me very legitimate drawing chances in all the endgames that are going to come if I don't lose immediately. Yeah. Now we go king h7.
Rook f8, rook b8 on the board.
Oh, we can take again?
You take again.
No, on a3, I mean.
a3?
Yeah.
Now, after rook b8?
Yeah, what's the threat? Why can't I?
Really?
No, I understand it.
Don't worry about anything.
I'm very worried, but I want this pawn. It's my...
What do you even do? Queen f6? Like, ugh.
Yeah, queen f6 is... Yeah, he did take on a3, though.
Wow.
Knight h5, I suppose. Yeah, this is always the reply here. We need to drive this queen.
Knight h5.
I mean, h4 falls.
No? Chat. Help me out here. This does look losing.
Okay, knight b5 apparently is very strong, but yeah, if knight b5 is the only solution.
Knight b5 is the win?
Yeah, or so it appears, I think, from reading chat. I don't know if it's actually winning or not, but that's what chat is suggesting. This is maybe not that horrible, right? Knight h5.
How happy are you?
Happiness doesn't enter the equation here. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of blundering knight e6 there for sure. Yeah, definitely have already blundered it once in my head.
It does look like checkmate.
Yeah, it looks horrible. Yeah,
Anish takes on f8.
Yeah, this I don't like.
And goes knight c6. Is he trying to get rid of the a pawn, not to take a risk here?
What, queen c5 though?
He is threatening this.
Queen c5 though. What's happening? Why is this so great?
That's what we said. Things would still happen. We were right. Queen c5, and Andrejki is back in business, no? Yeah, queen c5 played.
Yeah, but like...
Go. Was also missed, I'm assuming. We have a game. Diasso saying black is better now. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I assume there's still a draw somewhere, but... I mean, we're one move away from completely stabilizing with knight f5.
Yeah, make your draw jokes, but he did blunder queen c5, which will be very, very painful.
Yeah.
And also, if you're not better here, you're not equal either. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you really do need a bailout now, it feels like. Yeah. Maybe he missed that there's knight h5 in the end after queen f6, queen c6 check, and queen h4 check, but like, how do you miss knight h5 there? It's the only move in the position. Yeah, he's also behind on the clock for the first time in the game.
Oof. And he was running very low on time. And yeah, it's the script we talked about. He does have a much better position, but Andrejki is slippery, practical.
Mm. Maybe
so dodges a bullet here, I'm sure. After rook b8, queen a3, actually that's compy boy. Yeah, knight b5 winning, queen f4, queen f6. Yeah, it's plus 3, whatever. So yeah, that was a win, but to find it over the board.
Yeah, but just rook f8 doesn't look right. It just feels like if you want to make a slow move there, it shouldn't include trading rooks.
Rook of A was the first line.
Yeah, he's gone rook b6, or sorry, rook b7. I guess
Yeah,
knight
that's
f5 is
good.
provoked. Yeah, yeah, this is actually a good
Knight
bail.
f5, you love blitzing out this move, no?
97 check though. 97 check I missed originally. It's the only move though, and I guess he saw it because otherwise he's just kind of in a lot of trouble. The point being knight takes e7, rook b8 suddenly works. Oh no, it doesn't. Queen f6 works. Whoa, you need to see queen f6. Whoa, Anish. Well played by Anish. Knight e7 played. And now, yeah, and this is the point about all of those Wróblewski setups. Queen takes e7 is a very comfortable draw here if you want. Just a very, very safe draw. The knight on f5 will never be shifted.
Still 18 Wróblewski games with this material balance.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so many Wróblewski games. But you can also go king g7 apparently, and yeah, one thing you shouldn't do is play knight e7, queen f6.
It's tempting though, especially once you spot a rook b8, knight c8. Is this losing?
Well, not losing
Okay,
exactly,
yeah,
but you are
back
to being in trouble. Yeah.
And what's the clock? 17 seconds for Anish, 24 for Andrejkin. He's playing king g7, knight takes g6. Whoa.
This apparently loses.
Point is king g6, queen g4 check.
Yeah.
But it does not seem to work according to Barboy.
Yeah, Barboy says you can says you can chase the rook around, and like queen c6 is eventually winning.
Barboy says this wins.
Yeah.
How?
The point is you draw the rook to
something like this.
To d7, then you play queen e8, and then with the f7 pawn protected, you can take on g6 with the king. I don't know how easy it is to find, but I guess just by kind of chasing the rook around, you eventually might stumble upon it. By
getting some time on the clock.
Yeah.
Knight h8, importantly, does not save the knight. You take
rook f7 played. Yeah, rook f7, you kind of know you're not
king
going.
f7, knight h8, same, king g7, and the knight is trapped in the corner. But it's actually weird, no? Queen c3, why is black still winning here?
I guess queen c1, queen h6 just picks up the knight. I think the knight is kind of dead.
This is on the board, and it does look like Andrejkin will go through.
Yeah, this
whoa.
In particular, since for a second there it showed like both of them had 3 seconds, but if it's 20 seconds, the moves from here on out for Andrejkin probably are going to be quite understandable. It's not going to be very difficult. Like
knight g6, change queens.
Yeah, knight g6, you take the pawn on f2 with a couple of checks, and you go from there. And all the other moves just lose. Yeah, knight f7, you go queen e1, queen f2 as well, and white just has nowhere to go from
no
there.
Checks, you still have to cover the stupid knight all the time.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's just extremely comfortable from here on out for Andrejkin.
What a turnaround. And yeah, we can take.
and Dodgy pipes up with practically a 15-minute stream. Yeah, we almost made it exactly the way it's supposed to be. You can also pick up the pawn on e5 with checks, which is what he will begin with. And just queen e1, queen e5, and then you think. And I guess the most cynical way to win this position is to go, after you pick up on e5, you go queen e1 check, queen h1 check, and knight g3 check, and you play the knight endgame. But
oh no, you take on h3.
Yeah,
we can't take on h3?
Yeah,
no, we have to do that directly. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's winning enough.
I mean, describing this as the cleanest is maybe not correct, but it's like the most sadistic way of doing it. But you can also just play king f6 in the current position, or whatever, pretty much whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, queen g3. Yeah, he'll gain some time on
He wants to go king h1, queen h3. He's fishing for it.
Yeah.
But there's no perpetual, like knight e3 apparently does win.
Yeah, knight e3 wins. You can also, centralize the queen and start really running with the king towards the center. And
no.
Yeah, I wonder if he's... no, still not a threefold. I was wondering if by playing queen g3 check, he is now... kind of... Some of the checks will now be impossible because they allow a claim. But I don't think we're there yet. Queen e1, yeah. I think he might actually go queen h1, because you kind of know this endgame is completely winning. It looks weird to give up the pawn on e6 with check, but the a pawn just wins the game there very comfortably.
That's a very nice practical solution, yeah. Because with the queen and the knight next to your king, you don't want to mess around with it unless you're a computer, you know it's plus 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, good job by Andrejkin.
Yeah, just getting the queens
This
off so
is
you don't blunder some kind of a weird
more
four.
hopeless than it looks. Yeah, knight here. King comes, a4 runs.
Yeah.
Or you don't need knight g3. You just bring the king. There's no counterplay.
Yeah, knight g3, knight e4 to sidestep all the forks, and yeah, or d4 king d5 is also, yeah, just whatever. As long as you don't blunder the a-pawn with check, you're in clover here. And you should be able not to blunder the a4 with check.
He has played d4, yeah. This is not a challenge for a player like Andreikin. Whoa! Yeah, heartbreaking for Anish. And yeah, we could take a victory lap about the I told you so with making a draw in game 1 in this good position. He did have a great position in game number 2, but he made the stakes much higher, the pressure on a sole move, and so on and so forth. And yeah, it's also the balance of power that we have talked a lot about. Of course, he will get good positions, but Andreikin, you have to beat him. And here, he didn't match.
Yeah. And yeah, really nothing needs to be said about this position, as long as you don't blunder like everything with forks. Like you're winning with all sensible moves here. Knight e6, king d5. I suspect even d3 wins, but nobody plays d3 here. It's just unnecessary to give targets. You just preserve all of your passers. Yeah, just still completely winning, of course. Yeah, doesn't throw the win away, but I don't think this is a particularly human way of converting here. Yeah, king d5 and then knight e6 looks like you are very likely to actually queen one of the pawns here. You don't need to offer any trades.
Knight e6, at least white gets to play g3, but it will be.
Yeah, that's an achievement that very seriously, it is an achievement for white to even create a pass, but it's not going to be fast enough. Yeah, you can also go king c4, king b3 right now and just start running. It's just, yeah, I guess Anish actually goes h4 here. I think the pawn on g3 is kind of irrelevant. You kind of need to start pushing, or maybe it loses
g2, so you're not exactly threatening anything after h4.
Yeah, that is fair. Yeah. You're just very, very far behind. Yeah, h4 played. Yeah, d3 is a very safe choice here as well. Yeah, just
now he has to take to create.
Yeah, and d2 king f2 is the trick here. But yeah, even in that position after, let's say, king c4 or king c4 actually might be a draw. King c4, king e3. Yeah.
He starts with king c4.
Yeah, that's a better way of doing things.
Good enough.
Yeah.
This, and now king b3 in particular will end the game. h6, you could even spend a tempo on this.
Yeah, you can definitely spend a tempo on this, and
you probably do want to. Like, these pawns are winning by themselves.
Yeah, they pretty much are. Yeah, but there was a way to spoil. Like, I was surprised by how much of a draw playing d2 there was. I thought it was still perfectly fine, but it was a way to create intrigue. Yeah, here you once again you choose between d2 and king b3. Both are perfectly fine. No real way to spoil it. Yeah, king b3 played. h6 and even king takes a4. No, king takes a4 might be a draw actually. Yeah. No, it's not. Even that probably wins, but nobody does that. Nobody does that.
Pawn, and now you get a queen. And knight c5, king c2. You can't catch them all. They're like Pokemon.
Yeah, one of them is actually going to be a queen very soon. Yeah. Very much heartbreaking for Anish because he had a very good position in game 1 and was arguably just straight up winning in game 2. But yeah, Sklansky bucks. Not as useful as they sound.
Yeah, I'm also not sure. Well, it is rough for Anish either way, but it is part of their strengths and weaknesses that Anish will have good positions out of the opening. Would have been shocking if not, but yeah, he will. I think he will be kicking himself. Maybe more about this game 2, where he missed a win and blundered his knight c6, but also the game 1 he should also be kicking himself.
Yeah, I think.
And yeah, this is over. d2 played, knight takes f8, d1, queen h7, queen anywhere.
d6 check is not bad.
So this is fairly straightforward.
Yeah. So we have a Rapport and Raking final to look forward to, starting from tomorrow. Richard will have had a rest day today, spent at least in part, I'm sure, watching this, but also still it's not irrelevant that he gets a rest day and Andrakin doesn't. Colors for game 1. Not entirely sure. There might not be a drawing of lots. It might have something to do with the seeding, but not altogether sure. Yeah, drawing of lots later says Satyrius, so we will find out who plays which color tomorrow a bit later. You're leaving us again, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gone again. I had agreed, literally, a month ago to host some German streamers tournament this weekend before all this Grand Prix goodness happened, but I'm sure you will have a great time. Who's coming? Alejandro is back?
No, Alejandro isn't back. I think we'll have a dog lovers conference here. I think as it stands right now, it's LT. So the entire show will be spent talking about dog food. And
what does LT stand for? You bring Lawrence without me? I'm not allowed to talk to Lawrence for years, and now when I'm gone, he's brought in?
You're not allowed to talk to Lawrence?
I've said for many a year, give me the Trendmaster. And I've always been told, can't do it. You have to keep ghosting him on your social media, Jan. You can't talk to him. And now he's being brought back. It's just heartbreaking to me. I'm very jealous.
Top 10 anime betrayals, yes.
So the great Lawrence Trent, you get to not only bathe in his wisdom, but also you get access to his notes.
Yeah, I very much am planning to keep on pestering him about notes until he actually coughs up some. I think he's been allowed to skate by just by mentioning notes and never actually showing us any for way too long.
This is very, very upsetting to me. But yeah, I hope you two have a great time talking about your dogs and your notes and your feelings.
Feelings especially.
I will heartbrokenly host my German beginner saying he could have taken that rook and I could have spent time with Peter and Lawrence instead. Yeah, will be a fun final. Andrakin versus Rapport. I feel bad for Anish. I understand where some of it is coming from, but it also makes me sick that poor Anish here, after making it to the semifinals and losing after having two great decisions, to read in the chat that he not only lacks character but also any chess playing strength. He only knows openings and so on. Give him a break. He's 2-7, whatever, 75. Made the semifinals of the Grand Prix.
He's not out of the Grand Prix.
All anybody's talking about is how draw she is, or how weak or rabbit-hearted he is now, which I find upsetting. Anyway, thanks for watching this show, and check out our series on the
check that out. Yeah. In particular, I think the chapter on assembling the team is potentially already out, which is the very, very hot topic these days. Exactly what goes into the Avengers Assemble part of the story. Not sure if you want to spoil anything there.
Avengers?
Well, the opposite.
It's Hulk, Thor, or is it Thor? I'll get angry comments if I bungle another TH. Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Tony Stark, or Iron Man. I think they're both members of the Avengers. Is the Scarlet Witch, is she an Avengers member? Maybe honorary member, like an extended Avenger?
I'm actually not as well booked up on the lore there as you seem to be implying here.
Even if we're trying to spoil it, we can't name all the Avengers.
Yeah. I was actually kind of trying to get you to spoil some of the new video series that were just released, but you went and
Yeah, watch the video series. It's great. We give all the stuff about the 2021 match. Magnus told us you don't have to keep any secrets. Just say it all. So we did.
Yeah. Is Doctor Who an Avenger? Asks Mr. Dodgy Chess. No, he's...
but Doctor Strange, is he an Avenger? Is he Avengers adjacent?
Very adjacent, yes.
Getting Batman again.
Avenger by Curious or something. Yeah, I don't know. As is Doctor Who, I suppose, by this point. Anyway, see you tomorrow.
No one thinks your Doctor Who jokes are funny on this program. Maybe Lawrence does. I'm very, very envious of the great time you, Lawrence, Andrekin, Rapport will have tomorrow.
All very true.
Hi everyone, welcome to our new video series. My name is Jan Gustafsson and I'm thrilled to be reunited with fellow Magnus Carlsen's trainers, seconds, Peter Heine Nielsen, Magnus Carlsen's head coach, and Laurent Fressinet, Magnus Carlsen's French coach, are both here, and we will be going through the World Championship match 2021. Our experiences with it, the games, what we prepared, where we felt things went well, where we felt things didn't go well. Peter, we have different perspectives because we were in different locations.
Very much. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about it because you were in Thailand during all the match and I was in Dubai with Magnus and his non-chess team. So I see some kind of debriefing where we will discuss what was the mood in Dubai, what was happening in the technical department in Thailand, and we got to sort of basically compare notes and get the two kind of inside looks from the match.
Very much so. And Laurent, we are actually in your private home. Thanks for having us.
It's a big pleasure to welcome both of you, and I'm sure it will be interesting to talk to you guys about the match.
Likewise.
So we hope you guys enjoy the series with our behind-the-scenes insights. See you then.